Isn't that just a freaking sweet vibe? What if I wanted to pay tribute to this idea in a techno song? That's what I would call, a word that honestly I just made up, a techno homage. An homage really just means a tribute. You might be familiar with the idea of a remix. You might be familiar with the idea of a cover song. You might be familiar with the idea of a DJ edit. And now I guess I want to introduce to you the idea of an homage. And an homage is just where you take a little piece of something that tickles you the right way and you quote it, but all the rest you kind of fill in your own musical sauce. So how would you go about doing an homage? Well, my vision is that I want to take that hook, the "it's you and the things you do to me that makes me love you, now I'm living in ecstasy." I think that's such a beautiful little mini poem, and I would want to take that little nugget and create a dance music world around it that's compatible with some different flavors of techno DJ sets. So in a sense, you might say that I'm going to quote a musical idea, the same way that in a book you might quote some other work while referencing to it. I'm going to quote a musical idea. And that musical idea is a melody, really. And a melody usually sits on top of a harmony. And so to be able to effectively quote that melody, I'm going to have to figure out what the harmony is of the song so that I can implement that using my own musical tools. So this song is in the scale of B flat. That's all of these notes, right? And what it's doing is it's doing a 6, 3, 4, 1 chord progression. And notice the pushed chords. Every second chord arrives a little early. So it's like ba, 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 ba. Very nice. And then the melody sits on top of that. Something like, I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me that makes me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy. I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me that makes me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy. Love that shit. Love it, love it, love it. So that to me is the core identity of this song. That particular chord progression with that particular melody line over the top. So then how is that harmony going to be represented in the song? Well, I thought of doing like just a simple like effective bass line, and why not use the classic sound of the M1 Perc organ? You probably recognize it when you hear it. And learning from people like Fortet and Charlie XCX, let's give this bass line something that opens it up and makes it a little more fresh. These little bubbles, they help the whole thing feel more complete without adding too much distracting stuff to it. It's you and the things you do to me that make me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy. Okay, so then we need to add some percussion, and for the last few weeks I was borrowing the Pulsar 23 from Soma Instruments from a shop in Brussels called Music City. Absolutely go check them out if you are in the greater Brussels area looking for musical equipment. That's the place to go. I highly recommend it. And I created a bunch of loops using the Pulsar. And so this is the texture that I came up with. I did a faster version as well, by the way. I'll get to that in a moment. But notice all the gritty texture. The kick is just a grainy kick from my grainy kick tutorial from a few weeks ago. And then just a bunch of abstract layers to turn it into this. I don't know, I could listen to this forever. For me, this feels like a warm outdoors party during the summer, which it has been a beautiful summer here in Brussels. And so I could totally picture this in that context, a bit more down-tempo, a bit more of a sunset kind of a vibe. But then I also felt like, let me speed this up and let me try a different percussion flavor so that it could fit into a different type of DJ set. So I did a B version as well that goes a little bit like this. You do to me that make me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy. It's you and the things you do to me that make me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy. It's you and the things you do to me that make me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy. So this is the more up-tempo drums, a bit faster, a bit more intense, a bit more insistent. So there we go, it's a different feeling altogether. And that's idea B. But as you might notice, in both of these versions, I'm not going to take this to a very different musical place, or at least I'm not going to do like a whole cover of the song. This is not a cover of the song. This is just an homage. This is an interpretation of one musical idea from that song. And in a dance music context, I like the philosophy of just taking one idea and layering as much texture onto that idea as possible. Because in a DJ set, a DJ will often be doing like, they'll mix in a song, and the song will represent one idea, and then when that idea is kind of getting stale, the DJ will bring in a next idea. So every song executes one idea really well, and then the DJ has control over the story that they want to tell. If every song has 10 different ideas in it, the DJ just has to hit play and then just wait, and like it's just waiting for the producer to tell the whole story. So I really like this philosophy of dance music. Every track sort of represents one idea and gives you a lot of different angles on that idea, so that if the DJ wants to let that idea develop, it's like one flower that's blossoming rather than 10 flowers blossoming, if that makes sense. This video is absolutely going to be demonetized to hell because of the examples that I've showed you. So these two different versions are available now on Bandcamp and streaming services. So go check those out. That supports the channel very, very much. You'll see it's released under my techno pseudonym, Torque. I have a few more of these homages lined up and I'm very excited to share them with you. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think of the new pink lifestyle. Go follow one of my courses on my website, and until next time, stay producing, pick it to each other.